Garrett Hayes stood in the toy aisle of the big box store, completely out of his element. At 35, he was CEO of Hayes Digital Marketing, comfortable commanding boardrooms and managing multi-million-dollar accounts. But finding the perfect birthday gift for his 6-year-old niece? That was outside his expertise. He was comparing to dolls, trying to remember which character she'd mentioned, when he heard a small voice beside him. "Excuse me, mister. Are you good at making wishes come true?" Garrett looked down to find a little girl, maybe 4 years old, with blonde curls and a pink jacket. She held a toy catalog, pointing at a picture of an elaborate dollhouse. "I'm not sure I understand," Garrett said, crouching to her level. "What kind of wishes?" "Birthday wishes. My birthday is tomorrow, and I really want this dollhouse. But Mom says wishes don't work when you don't have money. Can you help mine work?" The innocent request, delivered with such hope, caught Garrett completely off guard. Before he could respond, a young woman hurried down the aisle, relief and concern crossing her face. "Lily, I told you to stay close to me. You can't just talk to strangers." She reached for the girl's hand, then noticed Garrett and flushed with embarrassment. "I'm so sorry. She's very friendly. I hope she wasn't bothering you." "Not at all," Garrett said, standing. The woman was probably late 20s, wearing a store employee vest over simple clothes, her blonde hair pulled back in a practical ponytail, clearly on break from work. "What did you ask him, Lily?" the woman asked gently. "I asked if he could help my birthday wish come true. You said wishes don't work without money, so I thought maybe someone with money could help." The woman's face went pale with mortification. "Lily, we don't ask people for things." "I'm so sorry, sir." "Come on, sweetie. We need to finish shopping." "Wait," Garrett said. Something about the situation, about this little girl's earnest hope and her mother's quiet dignity, made him want to understand. "It's her birthday tomorrow?" The woman hesitated. "Yes, but we're just here for groceries." Lily wandered off to look at the toys. Lily held up the catalog again. "This is what I want. It has tiny furniture and lights that really work." "And Lily, enough," her mother said firmly but kindly. "We talked about this. Maybe next year, when Mommy has saved more." Garrett glanced at the catalog. The dollhouse cost $300. Not an astronomical amount for him, but clearly impossible for this family. "I'm Garrett," he said, extending his hand to the mother. "And I actually could use some help. I'm trying to buy a gift for my niece's birthday, and I have no idea what 6-year-old girls like these days. Would you mind giving me some advice?" The woman looked suspicious, but shook his hand. "I'm Madison. And this is Lily." "Hi," Lily said brightly. "I'm going to be 5 tomorrow." "How old is your niece going to be?" "She's turning 7, Garrett said, making the calculation quickly. "What would you want if you were 7? As Lily enthusiastically described various toys, Madison watched Garrett carefully. He could see her trying to figure out his angle. Why a man in an expensive suit was asking her daughter for gift advice in a toy aisle. "That's really helpful," Garrett said after a few minutes. "Madison, can I ask you something? What do you do here at the store?" "I stock shelves overnight. 4 nights a week." She lifted her chin slightly, pride evident despite her circumstances. "It's honest work and the hours let me be home with Lily during the day. I'm sure it's exhausting. We manage." Madison's tone made it clear the conversation was over. "Come on, Lily. We need to finish our shopping." "Wait," Garrett said again. An idea was forming, crazy and impulsive, but it felt right. "I own a marketing company. We're always looking for good people for various roles." "What's your background?" Madison looked confused by the question. "I have some college, mostly general courses. I had to drop out when I got pregnant." "Why?" "We need someone for data entry and administrative support. It's entry level, but it's day shift, consistent hours, benefits. Would you be interested?" Madison stared at him like he'd spoken a foreign language. "You're offering me a job? You don't even know me. I know you're working overnight stocking shelves while raising a daughter alone. I know you're teaching her values about money and hard work. That shows character." Garrett pulled out his business card. "Call this number tomorrow. Ask for Jennifer in hour. I'll tell her to expect your call. Why would you do this? Madison's voice shook slightly. Is this some kind of pity? Because I don't need, it's not pity. It's recognizing potential when I see it. You clearly work hard and have good judgment. Those are the qualities I need. He paused. And yes, it would mean better income and better hours to spend with your daughter. Is that so wrong? Madison took the card with trembling fingers. I don't know what to say. Say you'll call. Garrett looked at Lily. And happy early birthday. As they walked away, Lily, tugging on her mother's hand and chattering about the nice man, Garrett, made another impulsive decision. He found the dollhouse Lily had shown him and purchased it, along with the gift for his niece. He had the store ship the dollhouse to Madison's address, which he got from the helpful HR manager at the store after explaining he wanted to send a birthday gift to an employee's daughter. Madison did call the next day. The interview went well, and she started the following week. The administrative role came naturally to her, and she proved to be organized, quick to learn, and excellent with both colleagues and clients. What Garrett hadn't expected was how Madison's presence would change his company's culture. She brought genuine warmth to client interactions, organized team events that actually brought people together, and slowly became the heart of the office. What he also hadn't expected was how often he found excuses to stop by her desk, to ask her opinion on projects, to stay late when she was finishing work. 3 months after meeting in the toy aisle, Garrett asked Madison to dinner, not as her boss, but as someone who couldn't stop thinking about her. I don't date people I work for, Madison said carefully. Then technically you work for the company. Not for me personally, Garrett replied with a smile. But I understand if you're not interested. I just had to ask. Madison studied his face. Why me? You could date anyone. Someone sophisticated, accomplished, from your social class. Because you're real. Because you're raising an amazing daughter while working hard to build a better life. Because you didn't ask me for anything that day in the store, even when you were struggling. Because you taught Lily that wishes don't work without effort, which shows more wisdom than most people ever learn. Their first date was simple. Dinner at a family restaurant where Lily came along, because Madison couldn't afford a babysitter and wasn't ready to leave her daughter with strangers. Garrett found himself enchanted by both of them, by Madison's quiet strength and Lily's joy in small things. 6 months later, Garrett proposed in the toy aisle of that same store where they'd met. Lily helped him pick out the ring, a modest but beautiful diamond that fit Madison perfectly. 2 years after asking a stranger if he could help her wish come true, Lily gained not just the dollhouse, but a father who adored her and a mother who'd found partnership with someone who valued her for exactly who she was. And Garrett learned that the best investments weren't made in board meetings or market strategies, but in seeing potential in people others overlooked, and having the courage to act on instinct when your heart tells you something matters. The little girl's wish had come true, but so had wishes Garrett hadn't even known he had until a chance encounter in a toy aisle showed him what was missing from his successful but empty life. If the story touched you, like, share, and subscribe for more tales of unexpected connections. Comment about chance encounters that changed everything.